And Aaron Studwell from raceweather.net joins us now via Skype from Houston. Thanks for joining us this morning. And they actually moved up today's race an hour to 1 o'clock Eastern time because of that threat for rain. So talk about what goes into making the call to change the start time based on the forecast.
It was funny because I was actually talking to somebody else and said, that'd be a really good idea because they need to start as early as possible. And I think by policy is the most they can move up is an hour. Because you have so many people coming into the area that'll be traveling in from Boston or even as far as ways from Connecticut on this day. So moving it up more than an hour doesn't allow for them to be there, but it gives everybody a chance. You have all the driver introductions done, you have the national anthem done, and so if you can't start right away, you don't have to go through those formalities again.
And of course, this time of year, we think thunderstorms the major issue, but fog could be a problem as well?
We've seen that before at Pocono, yes, and we've seen scenarios where you've come out off the start-finish line and you look down towards turn one and you just can't see it. You're driving into a fog bank, and that's a really high risk, especially at the speeds they're at on some of these tracks going 170, 180 miles an hour into a fog bank. You just can't. It's not tenable.
Yeah, you might want to see where you're going that fast. So
and no flashers and brake lights either.
Yeah, that's true. And no windshield wipers as well. Let's talk about the track conditions. That's a major concern. But what about the fans? What goes into keeping the fans protected when you could have weather like even lightning move into the area?
Yeah, that's another scenario we've seen within the last 5-6 years is after a race and during a race, you want to clear the stands with lightning within 8 miles, 10 miles of the track. But then people were walking away, and there was a lightning strike at Pocono a few years back. And so the track and NASCAR are definitely aware of fan safety and crew safety. So they do make that call based on information they receive and lightning detection systems.
That's one thing. Making the call, you got to make sure the public uses that information, right? Get them moving. All right, so you've been forecasting for 20 years. I have to ask you, what's some of the wildest weather you've seen?
Well, some of the wildest weather I've seen is I'm working in Houston, and I lived through Harvey. And I was working both Friday night of landfall and Saturday night that had impacted Houston so bad. And just a tornadic threat we had on the west side of Houston, watching the radar, watching the velocity plots. We were watching a plot that was coming right at our building. It weakened before it hit the building, but whatever that was remaining of that couplet hit the building, and some of the windows were displaced, and all of a sudden I'm typing in here, that's water. And water was coming rain was coming into the building. So Harvey was probably the craziest thing I've lived through here as a forecaster.
Wow. So real quick, Aaron, let's talk about the race today. What's your forecast? Think they'll get it in, or you think rain will kind of really have a hard time getting this thing completed?
Completion for a NASCAR race is to the end of stage 2. So it's a little less than 2/3 of the way through. I think they'll get some racing in today. Whether they're going to get to the end of stage 2 is about 50-50. Rain looks like it's going to hold in place through kind of these heavier showers that are moving in. So we're going to look at kind of more steady showers till 2 o'clock. We do see some breaks after 3 o'clock. So I think we can get it started. New Hampshire's a shorter track, so track drying should take maybe an hour or less. So I think they'll definitely get some racing in today. Whether it'll be an official race or not, I think that's still to be determined.
All right. Thank you so much, Aaron Studwell from raceweather.net. Thanks for joining us this morning.